You want the sauce? Let's get you the sauce. What up, y'all? Jake here with Bish's RV. It's time to level up your RV knowledge on RV chassis. You know what a tube channel chassis is? How about a C-channel? Standard I-beam? No? How about a rolled I-beam?
No, Jake, I don't know what they are, and I don't care. I just want something with 4 walls and a pooper.
Well, hold on a minute. What if I told you that one of these is 20 to 25% stronger and proven to outlast the rest? You have my attention. Good. Glad to hear it. Because we're going to cover the pros and cons of each of these chassis types. And we're going to tell you why we chose the rolled I-beam for our Go Play travel trailers. Let's go! So when it comes to building a robust and long-lasting structure, the choice of materials and construction methods play a vital role. In the world of recreational vehicles, or RVs as the cool kids call them, the chassis or frame is the backbone that ensures stability and durability. There are 4 main types of chassis construction: standard or welded I-beam, C-channel, tube frame, and rolled I-beams. Let's start with standard I-beams. Although similar looking to rolled I-beams, do not be fooled. While a rolled I-beam is a single piece of forged steel, a standard I-beam is 3 pieces of flat iron that are welded together to form an I shape. What a poser! Boo! While perhaps a more cost-effective alternative to rolled I-beams, they cannot match the superior strength and performance of the rolled I-beam. Since they are pieced together using 4 separate welds, this can create 4 more problems than you would otherwise have with a single piece of forged steel. Weld quality can be an issue here, as many of these are welded together by human hands. And one faulty weld could cause drastic issues with your RV's chassis. Furthermore, due to its 90-degree construction, water can pool and pose lots of issues with rust and rigidity, making it a lesser option. With that being said, next, C-channel construction. Boo, boo, C-channel, boo. Hold on now. Let's give them some credit. C-channel chassis involve using steel channels that are shaped like a C, looking like half an I-beam, which is appropriate considering that while it does provide some rigidity, it cannot handle heavy loads or stress as well as an I-beam. Truth be told, folks, they are lighter weight, they are more cost effective, and they do offer water shedding capabilities. But the vast majority of manufacturers have moved away from C-channel chassis because they just don't stand up to the I-beam. With that being said, why would you just want half a pizza when you could have the whole pizza? Next, tube framing utilizes hollow rectangular steel tubes. While offering cost savings, they trade overall strength and durability for lightweight construction and flexibility. Due to their flexible nature, towing quality can decrease drastically as it may jump and wiggle going down the road. And let's be honest, that's the last thing you want to deal with on your travels. Towing your RV is a big part of the lifestyle, and you don't want to have a poor experience. They are supposed to be fun! And not only do tube chassis have possible towing issues, they are far more susceptible to interior rusting. The hollow interior of the tubes are notorious for trapping moisture, especially in areas of high humidity or high condensation. Like where I'm from, small town kid from Nebraska, where dewing is a real problem. I've woke up to dew not only on the outside of my car, it's on the inside of my car. So think about this. Where does that go if it's stuck in that tube chassis? Nowhere! It's trapped! Let me out! Over time, this trapped moisture can lead to the formation of rust from the inside out, compromising the structural integrity of the chassis. And there's just no good way to defend against this problem. With that being said, next! Lastly, the GOAT. Bleh. Rolled I-beams. These puppies are widely known as the best choice for RV chassis for a good reason. This process involves rolling steel into a shape of an I, creating a strong load-bearing structure, similar shaping to the stem and base of a wine glass. Though these are the most expensive option for your RV chassis, they boast superior strength, about 20 to 25% stronger than standard I-beams. Hey, 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 get to the camper, hey! Plus, they offer fantastic stability and durability, making them ideal for handling demands of various road conditions and long-distance travels. With the resisting and flexing, rolled I-beams provide a solid foundation for your RV, ensuring a smoother and more controlled ride. The overall towing experience will be much easier for you, which makes for a stress-free travel experience for you and your loved ones, at least on the towing side of things. But traveling is half the experience. Best to have the best chassis option for the best possible towing. And she ain't stopping there! In addition to strength and durability, the rolled I-beam chassis offers one additional advantage: effective rust prevention. Oh yeah. The rolled shaping of the I-beam chassis creates a slope surface, allowing water to roll off rather than pool and cause potential rust issues, making this the best option for your RV chassis. Quick pro tip.
All right, guys, the best way to find out what chassis you have is just get down here and take a look at it. Don't be afraid to get dirty. So if you look up here, rolled I-beam. It's all steel, not a weld in the corners. Welded I-beam or standard I-beam would be that. But this, rolled I-beam. C-channel is basically like half an eye, right? So it's basically very similar to this. It might have a rolled edge, it might be a welded edge, but either way, half an eye. Tube. Tube is exactly what it says. It's a tube. It's a rectangular tube, and you cannot see inside of it. It's a tube.
Now, let's talk about the mighty Go Play, which proudly uses the rolled I-beam chassis. By utilizing the rolled I-beam, this ensures that the Go Play is equipped with a solid and robust foundation. This choice reflects the great lengths that we went through in our commitment to delivering a high-quality product at a low cost to you guys. In contrast to some competitors that may have chosen a different chassis option to save costs, we cut costs in a different manner. If you haven't heard the story of the Go Play, just go check it out. It's pretty cool. When it comes to your RV's chassis, it is essential to consider the long-term benefits of having the rolled I-beam chassis. And don't just take my word for it. Look at some of the world's most iconic structures out there that have utilized the rolled I-beam construction, like the Empire State Building, the Golden Gate Bridge. Both of these structures have withstood almost 100 years of constant stress and tension, from whatever Mother Nature could throw at it to the forces of man. These structures have handled it all and continue to stand through the test of time. So by investing in a rolled I-beam chassis, you can have peace of mind knowing your RV's structural integrity is safeguarded against the blissful uncertainties of the road ahead.
Alrighty, folks, one added note to everything that Jake is saying about the rolled I-beam, that revolutionary I-beam construction, is some of the measures that we've taken to increase longevity on this coach, right? Not only longevity, but flexibility to do some of that maybe off-road camping or extended season camping, right? Maybe the ability to take the camper to the river's edge, right? So I want to talk about that a little bit. So, like I said, in conjunction to the I-beam construction, we also leverage what's called a powder coat, right? And the powder coat is a very durable, essentially like a protective coating that we put across the entire chassis, protecting all the exposed metal, right, from the corrosive materials that you're going to encounter on the road, like salt, like water, like dirt, muck, grime, all that garbage stuff, right? All that stuff harbors very corrosive materials and elements that is going to cause nasty rust that can cause some serious problems down the road, right, on all of your iron components that create the chassis as a whole, right? So taking protective measures to safeguard this critical component, right, your I-beam, your chassis as a whole, is absolutely paramount, folks, in order to make sure that we're protecting your investment, but also setting you up for successful camping down the road, generations of family memories, right? We want you to have this thing for a long time. So the powder coat, how does that work? Well, there's a lot of different protective coatings that we employ in the industry, right? There's painted coatings, there's all sorts of stuff. Now, we didn't want to opt in for a painted coat because a standard painted coat, right? You paint it on just like you paint your walls in your house, but when you do that, air bubbles will seep to the surface and then pop, right? And when they pop, they leave little micro spots exposed, right? Little microchips of the metal exposed, which can cause problems down the road. Now, is it a subtle detail? Absolutely, right? But we're sparing no expense in safeguarding your investment, in safeguarding your memories on the Go Play travel trailer. So we opted in for a more robust application approach to placing that protective barrier on the chassis, and it's called a powder coat. And the way that a powder coat works is that we take that bare chassis and we put it inside this chamber, right? And then we apply a negative charge to the chassis, a negative electrical charge. And then we have this electrostatic gun, it's a spray gun, right? And it sprays the powder, right? And that powder, being an electrostatic gun, that powder gets positively charged when it leaves the gun, right? And the negatively charged chassis attracts that positively charged powder and it adheres, right? And the reason why you have that negative ground and positive charge is to ensure comprehensive coverage of the entire chassis, leaving no stone unturned, leaving no vulnerable spot, eliminating the risk that you sustain when you go with like a painted coat for instance, okay? So powder coat, extremely robust, extremely comprehensive coverage, much less risk involved long term. Now, once the powder is placed on the coach, we then bake it. We put it in this massive oven, we bake it, right? That powder melts, and when it melts, it creates this comprehensive coating around the entire chassis, right? And then when it cools, it hardens, becomes very rigid and very firm, right? So you get this awesome, very robust protective coat around the entire chassis. Okay, so we talked about powder coat, we talked about the I-beam construction. The next thing is a cambered chassis, okay, folks? This here is a reverse camber chassis. Now, you might not know what I'm talking about when I say camber, but we've all seen it, right? Like you've seen an empty 18-wheeler going down the road, and you'll notice how that 18-wheeler, the bed of it kind of looks like a frowny face, right? Like that empty bed just kind of resembles like a small arch. Right? Now that's a camber, and the reason why they do that is to help with weight distribution when you load that sucker down. And it's the exact same thing on a travel trailer. We've got a reverse camber, so instead of a frowny face, we've got a smiley face, right? And that smiley face peaks, or troughs I should say, right where the axle placement is. And the reason why we do that is because the vast majority of your weight, right, is going to sit right there on top of the axle. So we want it have an upward curve, right, towards the edges of our coach, so that as we bear that sucker down with all the components from your bedroom components, your kitchen components, your living room components, everything, that weight distribution equalizes, right? And we've got a nice stable coach that can handle going off-road if you want to, that can handle, you know, getting out towards the river's edge and just extending your camping season, giving you more flexibility to get out off the beaten path and make some really awesome memories, folks. So 3 major things in our chassis, right? There's the rolled I-beam construction that is paramount, absolutely critical. There's the powder coat to ensure that your chassis is protected against the corrosive elements of the road. And then there's the camber, right? That reverse camber that's going to ensure effective weight distribution, as well as giving you more flexibility to get off-road and to take your rig to the river's edge.
Again, guys, these videos are not meant to sell you on the Go Play. We just want to help you shop smarter and show you certain RV features that we found important when building the Go Play, and stuff we recommend you looking for when you're searching for your next RV. Follow along as we dive in more topics that are often overlooked in the RV industry.
Now go on, get out there and go play.